I grew up in Louisiana, and thanks. Yeah. And once in a while, my friends and I would go to New Orleans. It was always a big deal because it was like going to, another world and everything because we weren't from a good part, right? And when we went one time, I was with three of my friends, and one of my friends was like, oh, we should all go to a psychic while we're here in the French Quarter, right? Because they have a bunch of psychics lined up, right? And so I was like, nah, I'm good. I don't even really believe in psychics. And even if I did, I don't know if I want to know, right? I'm all right. And he was like, no, come on, it'll be fun. Let's do it, right? So sure enough, he convinces all three of us to go ahead and do it. And there's lots of different psychics lined up. There's some people that are like reading palms. There's some people that have tarot cards. There's some people that are just staring at you like, oh. And so, I sat at a tarot table, right? And I don't know anything about tarot cards at all. I don't know what the process is or anything, but I went ahead and I paid the lady, because you got to pay up front, right? They can't just be like, here's the future now. And so I went ahead and paid and everything, and then she started like dealing, right? And so, I didn't know. So when she had dealt a couple, I just scooped up a couple. Because I don't know how to play, right? And then she was like, don't do that. And so then she redealt, and I kept my hands to myself this time. And then there was one card she got to where she just went, ooh. She went, ooh, and then scooped up all the cards, grabbed her tablecloth, and walked away. I was like, I paid you for $5 worth of future. You got to say something. You can't just walk off. What? Because now I feel crazy because I just paid $5 to believe in that now. I don't know what she saw. My friends are next to me. They all getting their palms. Oh, yeah. Then they get done. And they're like, what about you? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know anything because she walked away. She can't just... And they were like, oh, maybe she was a scammer. I was like, maybe? She didn't even try. It's the future. You don't know. I can't prove. Do you know what I mean? Make something up. Even if you saw something terrible, lie to me. I won't know. And so then they were like, oh, well, stuff happens. It's just $5. I was like, nah. So I sat down with another psychic. I was like, hey, can you help me? And she's like, what are you looking for? What do you know? I'm like, no, none of that. I need you to find... I need you to track down one of you so then you can tell me what she saw. Like in the 80s movies when somebody would get in a cab and they'd be like, follow that car. I was doing that. But with the psych, because I was like, you need to track her because she walked off with a tablecloth and everything. I don't think she's coming back. Like, I need you to see what she saw to just... And she was like, oh, it doesn't work like that. I was like, how does it work? We are dealing with an emergency here. Because she didn't just go, ugh. She was like, ugh. Like, it doesn't look ambiguous what's about to happen next. You need to know what it is. There's an interesting thing that's happened over the past, 2 years, I'd say, where everyone has built out categories for people who are famous, right? So there are some people that are like that old Hollywood type of famous that's kind of disappearing. You may never get another one of these again, like Brad Pitt level famous, right? Like, we don't know if that'll ever happen again because the internet has split us so much that, like, there's very few hardcore blockbuster movies that just everyone went to see. And when they are happening, it's like still factions of people. And it's not the same actors in the same movies every time. So, like, the closest we've probably got is, like, Timothy Chalamet. You know what I mean? Like, he was in Wonka and then Dune 2 and, you know, and then something else at the same time. It felt like everybody in Hollywood. I remember that time because for those period of months when I was going to the movies, it felt like everybody else in Hollywood got sick. And it felt like they just kept calling, like, no, we need you to do, or the movie won't come out. It's like, okay, then he's Wonka, then I know where he's a Fremen, and he's like, you know, it's like, it was just a lot, right? And then you have people who are like, yeah, that old Hollywood famous. Then you have people who are more like internet famous in a way that may stick or may not stick. So you have people that have like millions and millions of followers on Instagram or on YouTube or whatever. So they're technically as famous, if not more famous, than the old Hollywood people, right? Because these people were picked by the people, you know what I mean? Whereas the other people's sort of their success feels like studio, feels like, you know, a machine driving it or something. And then you also have lengths, right? Like lengths of fame. So there are some people that are famous the way that, like, they will be as famous as long as, like, a turtle lives. Do you know what I mean? Like, they'll be famous for so long that they'll actually die and still be famous after they're dead because people keep watching their movies and they're in classics and stuff. So it's like those, like, Marlon Brando types and stuff like that, where even if you don't know who they are, even if you can't picture it, you know what they've created, you know a part of what they did while they were here, you know? And then there's people that are famous for a shorter amount of time. It's still substantial, but it's not the same amount. So people that are famous like lifespan of a dog. Like it's still quite a bit of time. You know, there are people who were like super famous in the 90s who are less famous now, but if you saw them in a grocery store, you'd be like, ah! Don't move, don't move. You were in something. You were in, I know your face, you were in something. And then there are people that are famous for like the lifespan, and this is sadly most of fame. There are people that are famous for the lifespan of like a goldfish. It's just here and gone, right? If you blink, you'll miss it. They were famous for like a week, you know? They really subscribe to that 15 minutes in a sense, you know? Because you don't even really remember why they were famous, and then someone has to like go on and on about the thing that they did. Like, I don't know her name, and it's not, I'm not picking on her or anything, but just as an example, it's like that one girl that was on TikTok that hit her hip on the bedpost. It was like, ah! And it's like... I don't know who she is. I don't know where she is. She could be here. But I wish her well. I'm not saying this as in like it's a dig on her. I'm just saying that that's what happens, is that now that algorithms are ruling the world and ruling how we see the world, how we see perspective from other people, and how we like take in any form of media, right? I think that those are like the three levels, you know? So there are people who you think are gonna be goldfish, and then they end up being dogs. And we haven't lived long enough to see if a goldfish is ever gonna become a turtle. But it's like here today, gone tomorrow, and it'll sweep the entire country. It might sweep the world for like a week or months. You don't know when it's gonna end, right? Like I can't tell if the Haktua girl is a goldfish. or like a dog, right? Because this is my thing. Okay, if somehow you don't know the phenomenon that is the Hak Tua girl, basically, very quickly, it's something that took over the world for some reason. Where, people do those street interviews on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok and stuff, and basically they walked up to this one young lady who was out with her friend, and they were like, what's one thing that drives a man wild? And she was like, you gotta go Hak Tua and spit on that thing, right? And in a few sentences, she captured the hearts, the hearts and minds of America in a way that sadly a president never could. And I think one of the reasons she blew up, because a lot of people accused her of being a plant or this being like some weird thing as soon as it happened, but I think that one of the things that propelled her to where she is now and what pushed her in so many different algorithms, because she blew up on Twitter, on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, and then there were like derivative things of her after the fact, and then people were trying to figure out who she was, all this stuff, right? And I think that it's because most of what creates anything and what drives algorithms is discussion, right? If you can get people to argue, you're getting people to comment. If you're getting people to comment, this soulless, faceless algorithm just sees that a lot of people are talking about it, so then it pushes it to more people to talk about. Because all they want is your attention. They just want to keep you where you are right now in your phone, right? So then people saw it, and then there were people who immediately hated her. Like, just in a way that's like, not, and this isn't a soapbox thing, just I'm saying I witnessed it. They hated her in a way that we only seem to hate women online. They hated her so much. And I think a lot of people hated her because she was right. But I don't know. I mean, some people hated her immediately, and some people loved her immediately. Some people thought she was the most endearing, so sweet, so funny, so genuine, because that's another thing that people are attracted to in a world that feels like everyone has a very cold and calculated outreach plan or way to get you to buy something or way to keep your attention. It just felt like somebody walked up to her and she talked and she had fun. She was out all night with her friend and then she left, right? And I think that level of being genuine really captured people in that moment, right? And so now, and I don't know where she goes from here. Apparently she's like getting a show, and apparently there's gonna be like, I don't know, a bunch of stuff that happens. There's already people who have like paid her to appear and stuff like that. And then you saw people get mad about that. There were some people that were like, that's so unfair. She was just talking, and now all of a sudden she has stuff, and then that kept it going. And people don't seem to realize that, like, what keeps her going is us talking. Not in a bad way. I'm not saying a diss on her or anything. I'm just saying, even right now, what I'm doing is keeping her in the algorithm forever. I do wish her well, though, because I think that especially if you are at sadly, if you're at like a goldfish level of fame, you don't really know why you're here. Kind of like the goldfish in the bowl that's swimming in a circle. Not really sure where it's going or if it can go anywhere, or I'm just here, you know. I used to be at a fair and now I'm at this dude's house. Because when you aren't known for a thing, when there's not, we used to have these turtles because we used to prop up people who were famous as these demigods. And we still do it. We do it in different ways now, because now there isn't just like old celebrity. Now there's like digital creator, there's influencer, there's all these different people, but we still do it to people where we like deify them in real time, right? And I think that before it was always attached to a skill. So it was always like Marlon Brando is the most brilliant actor of all time. Orson Welles is this incredible director, right? All of these people are absolutely deified in their skill and what they do. So then even the people that want to reach their heights, whether it's fame or just skill, they want to get to that level. And it's something that may never be achievable, right? And then when you're like dog famous, people stop calling, right? Like, it's like I was available for parts, but I don't know. Like I didn't want to take the steroids, so then Marvel was like, no. You know, and I wish her well, because I think that it's a terrifying thing to just have everybody think they can get something from you or want something from you immediately, and you don't really know why, right? And you don't know how to keep what you got. Maybe you can turn it into something, you know? Like, who knows? Maybe I is an actress now. Like, I have no idea. Maybe it is the start to something, or maybe it just petered out because, you know, that was a moment in time, right? Because it's just hard. Because then if you're out one day, no one talks about that. No one talks about what becoming like unfamous is. You know, people that are famous actually then they turn to becoming infamous just to keep some level of normalcy of where they were, right? That's why sometimes in my opinion, you see people who used to be more famous, all of a sudden they lose their minds, right? Like you'll just be on Twitter one day and see like Randy Quaid said something. And you're like, okay, all right, that's what he's up to now, all right. No. Because I think if you don't really know why you're there, and if people aren't actually around you, protecting you, nurturing you, and taking care of you, right? Because we don't, I mean, unless she's here, we don't know Haktua girl. Like, just, we don't know what she wants out of all this or something. It was just sort of thrust upon her. And she's like, I quit my job immediately and I just started taking meetings and stuff. And I'm like, good for you, but also like, be careful, you know what I mean? Because if you don't know why you're here, you don't know how to stay, and then you get treated like a goldfish after. After a couple weeks, and you get, you know, next thing you know, that's not a regular bowl. It's And by the way, I hope that doesn't happen. I hope that she gets to use whatever springboard she wants, or like landing pad that improves her life. Because also, she didn't necessarily sign up for this thing. Somebody just asked her, what makes a man go crazy in bed? And then she knew, so then she answered, right? Like that's... I went to years ago, when I was with my friends back home in Louisiana, I went to a buffet. And this is a buffet before COVID, right? So this is a buffet that we just didn't know was nasty yet, right? Like COVID, you know, just gives you a different perspective on things that are like communal, right? Because a buffet is just family style eating, but it's with the public. Because you've had meals with your family before, and then you got that one cousin that's nasty, right? So then you're like, can someone please pass the mashed potatoes? And then they get ready to pass the mashed potatoes. You're like, ooh, not you, right? And then they grab the bowl and go to pass you, but they got their thumb in the bowl so they can get some grip on it, right? And then you're like, don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, that's, scoop it up, grab it from the bottom, hand it to me, because now it's thumb potatoes. So that's what it is. This is a buffet. It's just, you know, with everybody. And I even tried to give a buffet a shot post-COVID. And To be fair, maybe I wasn't being fair. Maybe I judged too quickly. But I basically walked in, and somebody who wasn't even at the food, just somebody at a table coughed, and I was like, forget this. This is... No, but this is years ago. I was in Louisiana with a few of my friends and went to this buffet. Now, this buffet did something special where basically they had the whole buffet and you could pay for that, or you could get a box. And if you got a box, it was a lot of the things that were at the buffet you could pick and choose, but it was food that came out of the kitchen, right? So it didn't feel like you were participating. And so I would always get a box, and there was one day they had a special, right? So you could get a box, and then for $1, you could get double meat, which I realize now as an adult is not a deal. Because meat should never be $1, right? Like, because you told me the whole box was $13, and then they were like, for $1, we'll just double it up. That means that all the meat is 50 cents. These margins are too tight for you to just be giving away all this meat for $1, right? This is horse. It has to be. All the meats that I know of cost a little bit of money, right? And so I was young. And I was naive, and so I was like, ooh, hit me with that double meat. And so sure enough, they give me the box. It's packed, right? And there's just a ridiculous amount of meat, a bed of rice, some veggies on the side, and like a little treat in one of the little compartments, right? And so we all sit down to eat, and I am loving life because I'm eating like a king for like $13. Had a coupon. And everything's well and good. We even leave. And about 40 minutes later, I get a pain. But the pain is the pain is not in my chest or my stomach. The pain is like in the middle, like right here, which is terrifying because I was like, I shouldn't get this till I'm 58. Like this is too specific of a spot. Like it needs to be like, you know, like head, shoulder, you know what I mean? Like all the pain should have a section, right? And like it either needs to be stomach ache or heart attack. I don't want whatever this is. This is an insane region to have this much pain. And so then I'm doing all types of weird movements trying to like make the pain decide where to go. Like I'm trying to either push it up or knock it down or something. Like I'm cramping up, but it's like it's right here. And I've never felt anything like that before. And so then I have like a little, I don't know, I do some motion and the pain just gets even tighter here, right? And then it starts to hit my stomach, and so I run. I didn't even know I was fast. I run. I run to the bathroom, right? And I run to the bathroom, and I'm glad nobody was in that one because I kicked the stall door open, right? Because we're in crunch time. This isn't a no. You know what I mean? Like, we're pushing at least, right? And so I run up and I kick the stall door open, which you should never do because those stall doors bounce back, right? So I kick and boom and boom and boom, and then I get up off the floor, right? And I get in the stall, and then I sit down, and it's still just like, it's all right here. And I'm like tearing up. It hurts so bad. I don't know. I can't even describe it because I've never felt anything like it since. And I'm just like, I'm still trying to do the movements, like push the pain to make sense. You know what I mean? And I've been praying, by the way. I've been praying for a long time because you ever in the bathroom and you start to pray, but you're not even praying about anything related to what you ate. You're praying about something you might have got away with when you were little. And you were like, Lord, I'm sorry I took it. I didn't think they'd notice. It's my bad. I won't do it again. Just, that's gotta be what this is about, because this is too specific. This is like an inch below the nipples pain. Just hurting, right? And then I can't help it. I'm like audibly making noise. I'm like, I think this is what the psychic saw.
Welcome to the Josh Johnson Show. This is Josh Johnson, joined by my co-host, fellow stand-up comedian Logan Nielsen. Logan, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right, man. How are you?
I'm doing okay. You know, it's this feels like weird to say. I didn't know this until this year, but
was that your throat? I'm so sorry.
What?
I think that was your throat. It just went right into the mic.
Maybe. I didn't feel anything.
It was jarring to hear.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
No, you're good. You're good.
Well, yeah, this sounds weird to say, but July 4th is also my dog Rocky's birthday. And
okay.
Rocky, I can send you a video. Rocky is 19.
He's 9. You were saying he was old.
Yeah.
Because this is the dog that's in Atlanta with your mom, right?
Yeah, baby boy is 19 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's old.
It's so old that no one feels bad for me when I tell people that he's like on his last.
Right.
No one like I tell people and no one is like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like I tell them that he's almost 20, they're just like, damn. Like no one.
That's the reaction, because it's like, because even when you told me, because I was like, how old is Rocky? And you're like, he's about 20, and I was like, Jesus, like to me, it's not like it doesn't matter that he's not doing great or whatever. It's more just like, damn, good for him. That's a hell of a run for a little dog, Like,
yeah, no,
20 is rare in dog.
Yeah, my mom gave him some carrots and ground turkey for his birthday, and he doesn't see as well anymore, so he has to just go for it with his eyes. And the way he lunged at the bowl was like, it was like he was a puppy again. That was like the most alive he had been the whole weekend. He was like, "What is that?" Ah! No, he was wilding.
Well, good for him.
Did you have a good 4th of July?
I mean, I didn't do anything. I was just kind of here. So, yeah, that's kind of my preferred way.
Okay.
To spend the 4th of July.
I'll tell you right now. The thing that I've been thinking about for this episode for quite a while is all 4th of July themed, because to me, it's where a lot of it's where a lot of America's extremes converge,
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of blowing stuff up. There's a lot of cooking. There's a lot of
arguing about the country.
Yeah, there's just a lot of like buck wildness that all converges on July 4th in a way that we try to avoid on Thanksgiving.
I think you're right there, because especially too there, this year in particular, I've seen it the last few years, but there's always people just being like, you know what, not celebrating this year, America and its decisions, and like totally understand that. But then people arguing about it, and I'm like, right there though, you're participating in the most American thing, which is having a petty argument online.
Yeah.
Incredibly American. You are truly celebrating your country by riling up strangers.
One of my favorites was this is like a few years ago, because so I'm friends with a couple of people in Alexandria still that like do like EMT work, and I think he's like, one of them's a volunteer firefighter, but I think he used to be an EMT and everything. And some of these people would come into the restaurant and stuff and like chat and everything.
Yeah.
So there was one where, remember when frying turkeys was just getting big?
Yes.
Okay.
For the 4th of July?
I mean, this person just needed an excuse, I guess. But
That's I'm like, I know you mentioned Thanksgiving. We're not shifting to Thanksgiving, are we?
We're not at all.
This is a 4th
We're
of
not at
July
all.
story.
this dude this dude took it upon himself to have, the American classic of a fried turkey. You know what I'm talking about?
I want to get sleepy and watch fireworks.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. Let's
It's
handle
actually-
explosives while we're full of turkey.
It's actually the best way to celebrate, because then you get yourself real nice and sleepy off the turkey, and then the fireworks wake you up, and you're just in a terrible state of limbo for the entire evening.
Just vacillating between dozing and startled.
Yeah, it's like taking cold medicine and then drinking a shot of espresso. You're like, I don't know how to feel right now, and none of it feels good. There was okay. I'm sorry, I'm digressing here, but just
No, you're
this
good.
is a quick thing. There was a kid when I was growing up who swears that that one 4th of July he was shooting the Roman candles. And did you know you're actually not supposed to hold Roman candles?
Yeah, you're not.
Yeah.
I think you're by rule not really supposed to hold any fireworks, but
But I'm not gonna lie, if I don't hold it, how am I gonna use it? Because now it's just
sure.
a stick on the ground that's on fire shooting at people's feet.
right.
They don't
Which
give
is
you a
what
stand.
That's what a lot of other fireworks are too. But yeah,
Yeah. They just don't give you a stand, but then they say don't hold it. It's like, well, then don't use it.
I think the don't hold it is one of those things they just have to put on it. It's like the warning label on cigarettes. They still want you to buy them.
Oh, okay.
Hey, get the Roman candles. Like, yeah, of course you're going to aim them at each other. That's the
Yeah.
fun. Run around with it in your hand, but
Yeah.
wink, wink. Don't do it.
Okay, I see. That makes sense then. Because this kid swears that when he was growing up, he was shooting off Roman candles, and one went into his uncle's mouth.
Should have not taken a drink there.
And it he was like it shot right into, because he had
Was
shot a bunch of them
not.
around, but then when he turned, just
Yeah.
the angle of his hand and his uncle talking just went right into his mouth, which
Yeah.
made me wonder what Roman candle is then. Is it a little ball, or like what's the thing that's burning up with color?
I mean, that'd be like the various gunpowders or whatever.
So then he just had gunpowder in his mouth.
Probably. I mean,
Oh,
I
okay.
think that's what's in Roman candles. But
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Because this is the
And
thing.
ever since then, Uncle Steve could no longer taste sweet. He
I
could no.
I have no proof that this happened, but when that kid's uncle came to pick him up one time, and he just was like waving bye at us because we were sitting there talking to him. When that happened, I did see him smile, and he did have a dead tooth. So I mean, maybe it's true. Maybe a Roman candle hit him right in the tooth
It's potentially related.
and murdered it. Like,
Or he pulled up to pick him up and he's just drinking. You can see it's a piping hot cup of coffee just steaming and he's just slamming it.
yeah.
Because man can't feel nothing anymore.
Imagine if that's your superpower. Just not really having feeling in your mouth.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I don't know if that'd really be a superpower. It would be just. It'd be a fun fact about you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyone you told to, they'd be like, huh, that sucks.
Yeah, they'd be like, "That's really sad. That's a shame."
And then they'd be like, eat this candle or whatever. It would always be, hey, eat something then.
"Yeah, just to prove it."
Yeah. Yeah. Chew on this, I don't know, bite this fork.
Yeah.
What do you want?
But anyway,
Yes.
out of the sidebar, this dude fried a turkey on 4th of July for his family.
Using gunpowder.
He straight up, this is like something out of an Acme cartoon, though, because he straight up built the platform that the pot was going to be on. And then the fire department was called to his house because he sets the whole thing up himself. Is very proud of it. Is talking about just doing that, that bro stuff, that dad stuff of barbecuing and frying stuff, and doesn't want to hear anything from anybody.
Yep. He's in the zone. That's his happy place.
So instead of even having, how they have the stick with a little hook on the end that people usually hook the turkey to drop it into the Instead of any of that,
the barest of safety measures.
yeah.
Which I have a feeling this guy's about to skip over.
Instead of any of that, this is, and I don't know if he worked there, but do you remember the stick man from, well, you didn't grow up in like a black neighborhood. Okay. So the stick man is like,
I didn't grow up in a neighborhood, period. I grew up on a farm.
I'm with you. I messed up in even trying to see if you would get what this is. So
No.
The stick man is like a guy who at a big department store or at a big clothing store where they have rows and rows and rows higher than anyone can reach. You hit up the stick man and then he gets the suit, pants, or the whatever that's hanging up too high and uses a stick to do it.
For sure.
Right?
Okay.
So-
I've seen those.
Okay.
It wasn't necessarily just one guy at every store we went
Yeah.
to, but was this one guy's job?
That's usually that one dude's job.
He's the stick man.
He's the stick man.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay. So then this dude is like,
I'm sorry to get hung up.
on stick man?
Yeah, but just like you were just like, dude, you didn't grow up in a black neighborhood. Is that a black thing? Is that there's just
I feel
a
like
stick
only
man?
black people call them the stick man.
Okay, interesting.
I've seen it
I mean,
at
maybe.
like, I've even seen a guy do something like it at a Costco and no one called him the stick man.
Right. Okay. Well, it probably wasn't his only job at the Costco. So maybe just these stores, it was the only. He was the stick man.
Can I tell you that when that dude is not out sticking, he is just on a Bluetooth outside of the store acting like he doesn't work there. So yeah, that's his only job. That's a stick man.
Honestly, sounds like a pretty great gig.
It sounds like
To
an
be the stick
amazing
man.
job.
I'm actually down. I'm going to apply for stick man.
I wonder if he works on commission because that would be amazing. Now he's just pulling stuff from the high floor for
He
you.
gets paid.
He gets
for
paid
things he
off the
pulls
dresses he
down.
pulls down. He's like, let me get you, let me get you, let me get you, let me get you. And so,
You sure you don't want this one too? I get paid a little extra for everything I bring down.
so the stick man used to use a little hook that is the same as the turkey hook, right?
Gotcha. Yeah.
Apparently in some stores they don't do that anymore, and it's like still a stick, but the stick has a function now where it sort of bites the hanger instead of just unhooking.
So just being a hook. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's what this guy was using. He was using one of the bite clip things on a long stick to hold the turkey, which is obviously not going to hold it well because the turkey is however many pounds and this thing is made for grabbing
Right.
shirts.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so a part of me would like to believe that he was a stick man because that just
Yeah.
that means he brings his work home with him. Like,
Well, he's got his own sticks at the house for practicing.
Yeah,
he's out in the yard grabbing stuff.
yeah. Oh, you
In
want
the
a butterball? Let me
trees.
get you a butterball. Let me get you a butterball real quick. You want a butterball and a blouse? I got you. And so then my man is pulling the stick and lets the turkey drop from the teeth of the hook, right? So like the thing opens up, turkey falls, and there's just way too big of a splash.
Of
Like
course.
there's just the splash is just ridiculous. And so immediately the whole pot is on fire.
Just explodes. Yeah.
Yeah. And instead of exploding, it does a James Bond trail away from the platform that he's built, because the platform starts to burn. And that thing, I think it was made out of like Luan or something. So that thing goes up in a hurry. It looked like, you know, like when a magician uses fire and that magic paper burns almost immediately.
Yeah.
Apparently it looked like that, because then it burns so fast that the pot topples over. So now he's just burning his own backyard. And
Of course he is.
And like a James Bond movie where there's just a trickle, you know, where somebody's like lit up a lighter thing
Right,
that leads to
yeah.
a thing, it goes straight to the stack of fireworks in his backyard. And so the fire department was called to his house, because luckily he didn't burn it down, but he nearly burned it down because the whole backyard is on fire. And then the fireworks are going off now in their packaging.
Yeah.
And the funniest part of that story to me, when it was told to me, was that a family member had started calling the fire department as he was dropping the turkey in. So they didn't even wait for there to be a fire.
They were just like, this is
They
going to
were,
go bad.
they were like, there's about to be a fire at 800 Cypress Road. Like
Listen, I've seen him work as a stick man, and this man drops everything.
Yeah.
So I'm calling now.
there's a
I'm
lot
getting ready.
of dirty shirts that people are expected to purchase because
Man, though, an exploded like fried turkey vat, which then lights a pile of fireworks on fire. That that's like an American nativity scene. Like that having that in your yard. That is celebrating the 4th.
that's so funny. Yeah. Cause I couldn't even understand why he was frying the turkey for the 4th, because it's such a Thanksgiving thing. And I guess you can
Absolutely
burn
it
down
is.
your house at any point in the year. Like, I guess, you
Yeah.
know, you just really just need an excuse. But even the barbecue,
Yeah.
barbecuing is safer, and that uses more fire. You know, you actually bring coals, you bring charcoal to a barbecue.
Right.
And it's somehow less dangerous than let me fry a turkey for my family. Also, on not enough notice. Like, it's not like they were coming for the fried turkey. That dude just wanted to do it.
Just wanted to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so the guy from the fire department was like, hey, my man, just by the time we got there, all the damage had been done. Like all we could really do is pat that dude on the back and let him know his grass will grow again. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause it didn't reach the-
nature will rebound.
yeah, it like didn't reach the house. Even though, especially in Louisiana, when you're firing off stuff in the city limits and stuff, you gotta be very careful, because a lot of the trees will cross over the street. Like, some of those trees are
Oh,
so
yeah, yeah,
big that the fireworks can't get through them when you're shooting them up. So we had that problem when I was growing up. There were these people who would put the fireworks in the middle of the street. And we were always just like, someone's house is gonna burn down. There's no way it's not. There's
Right.
like we can see the fireworks not clearing the branches. So then they
Yeah.
would fire them off, and it would happen every year. And I couldn't tell if every year it was a different family or if the same family was just being optimistic. But
Right.
they'd shoot them up, and at least one or two of them you would see bounce back down, and then everybody would run. And it's like, what are we doing? This is insanity then.
Yeah. Yeah, all of our best decisions are made on the 4th. Everyone's really in a prime decision making mode.
Now, did you have any barbecue on the 4th?
This year, no,
okay.
no, because I got home the 3rd from us being in Arlington, and I didn't sleep that night before, so I kind of spent the 3rd and 4th just existing, just kind of laying
Yeah.
out. I don't do much either, because my neighborhood had a lot of fireworks going on, and my dogs do not like that.
Gotcha.
So it's just kind of I took it as an excuse to just chill out,
Yeah.
play some video
Yeah.
games.
No, that's fair.
So I didn't do much.
I didn't get barbecue, But we did go to, maybe it was the fourth or the third. We went to Red Lobster, and that was great. That was very good. I remember, I think about all the barbecue that I've had over the years for the fourth or in or around that weekend. And I don't know why, but it just always sort of like cracks me up how adamant people are that their method of barbecue is the best. Because you're just, like, be honest, you're mostly burning it. It's weird that dudes get into a battle with each other of like, I burn it better, okay?
Right.
The way I burn it is more efficient. I just put a flame right on it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I love grilling and stuff like that, but I have no real like pride in that. I'm just like, I hope it's edible.
Yeah.
I don't, but yeah, some people I don't know. You reach an age where you need something to make you feel important. That's what I think a lot of it is.
Now,
I think it's just guys being like, I serve a purpose. I matter.
one of my favorite like barbecue anything is like, you know, where I come from and how there are people who eat, especially if the more rural you live, like if you're in like Marksville, like all that, like Tioga, all those areas, you know, and you go hunting a bit more than people who are in like proper cities in Louisiana and stuff like that, then, you know, you're gonna have your fair share of deer and other stuff that's like a bit gamey and everything. And I'll never forget, this dude said that okay, I should back up. So when I was in junior high, I was like friends with a couple of people whose family was more rural. Like they lived in Alexandria and then their family lived further out. All right.
Gotcha.
And these are I'm trying to remember if I'm trying to get this right. So these people that I'm describing are the direct family to the kid that I went to junior high with, but the in-laws are coming from like another part of the country. I don't even remember where, but they were just like not country people. All right.
Okay. City slickers.
Yeah, you could call them city slickers. All right.
Huh?
And so the city slickers come through for a 4th of July
The quest,
weekend.
they're looking for Curly's gold. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's going to be a summer wedding, and this kid's big sister is getting married to this city slicker son of a bitch. All right.
God, probably a college boy too.
Yeah, probably a college boy with all types of, probably got more degrees than a thermometer, you know?
This city slicking pencil neck college boy.
Yeah.
Coming
yeah.
around here thinking he's better than us.
Probably wears a duck on his collared shirt, or a gecko, or an alligator, making fun of us. And so
Doesn't even go catching crawdads. He does.
So basically, they're all going to spend the weekend together, right? As they're spending the weekend together, this kid's dad offers to, you know, do all the barbecuing for the whole family. And since these people aren't from here, and frankly, they probably don't know what good barbecue is, they're all for it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, don't come to me with like your, I don't know, Montana barbecue. Like, I'm sure it's good where you are, but like if you're coming over from like some big city in Boise, Idaho.
I didn't realize the people from Boise were the big threat to,
No.
to Louisiana.
I'm just joking. I think they were from Boston. The vibes that were put out were very much like money Boston type things.
Gotcha.
When I said
yeah.
like in earnest, they were people who Southern people would probably call city slickers if they lived in the country.
I was gonna say, yeah. If it's,
But still, don't come at me with your version of barbecue. You don't know what you're doing. What you're doing is a version of what we're doing that's just frankly not as good because it's so cold in Boston that you need to keep your hands warm. So you're not even paying attention to the meat while it's cooking. You know, you need that
Southerners
body
make
heat.
good barbecue, but they make it unfun. To be honest, you guys are
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
too.
No.
You guys get way too immediately angry about barbecue.
Yeah. Barbecue and football is what will ruin for everybody. We don't
Yeah.
care. We'll ruin
Yeah.
it with college as well, where it really doesn't quite matter.
Yeah,
We do that in a lot of instances. You would think that for how seriously we take the small thing, we'd be better at the bigger thing. So then,
Yeah.
for as serious as we are about college football, you would think that all of our NFL teams would be amazing.
Right.
Like they'd just be crushing. And that's not the case. It's very
No.
weird. But they
there's
come
always because
through.
even there, you got angry at no one about barbecue. Like even just now, that I
had
just
to
wanted to illustrate a
represent.
point.
I had to represent for the story. I had to let people know that the attitude going into this family weekend for them was like, don't come here. You may read more books than me. You may know who James Joyce is, but don't come to me thinking you have better rubs than I do. All right. You know?
Yeah, with your fancy starched shirts and you're coming down here telling me how to barbecue.
I know who Shakespeare is, but do you know who Sweet Baby Ray's is?
I celebrate a true artist. And his
Yeah.
name is Sweet Baby Ray.
Sweet Baby Ray's. You ever just took a sip of some Sweet Baby Ray's right out the bottle because it's that good? Maybe you didn't need any meat. You ever take a little sippy sip, huh? Just to make sure that this is the Sweet Baby Ray's
Gotta
that
make
you
sure it's
want
good.
on your
You
chicken.
gotta make sure it's good. I like to sneak a sip at the store just to make sure it's the one I want to buy. I like to open
And if it's
up a
not
couple.
good, I put it back.
I put it right back. That's someone else's mistake they can make.
So basically, they offered to barbecue for the weekend, and
The people from Boston.
no,
the City
people
Slickers?
from Louisiana
Okay,
offered to barbecue, and
So it
was-
sounds like no one from Boston offered to barbecue, but you had to let them know.
from
Hypothetically, you weren't okay with it.
from the way that he told me this story, it never sounded like them barbecuing was a threat or a circumstance they had to worry about.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that
Well, the way he was telling it to me was like was that he was like, we offered to barbecue and everything because they don't know what they're doing. Like, so he went into a whole thing.
see? That's the thing. Like, at no point were they just like, listen. I really think we should be the ones that barbecue, and they never wanted to. They're visiting. They know their guests.
Someone saying barbecuing like that to me is almost as bad as racism. Like, I don't like that at all.
I was trying to put a New England on it.
If you're hitting the word barbecue with that dialect from The Fighter, I don't want it.
Wow, there goes our fans in Boston.
No, they are great at a lot of other things, but I just don't want to hear them say the word barbecue.
They're great at a lot of things except for saying barbecue.
I would even wager that they're better at barbecuing than they are saying the word barbecue.
Jesus.
What?
Nothing.
Some people should just say BBQ. You know?
Oh boy.
So they cook up an entire like feast, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't know why, but this is just funny to me, I guess. So this whole story may be for naught, but but they cook up an entire feast, and then as they're chatting at the table, and they say grace and everything, and then they start to eat. A couple of the people from Boston are like, "Wow, this is the best meat that I've ever had." What is this one? And they're like, "Oh, that's squirrel." And their eyes get like a little like squinty, just like, what do you mean Do you mean it's like squirrel in the game wherever
yeah.
they're
Or
like,
is it like a dish
yeah,
name?
and it's like, no, it's a squirrel.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, well, what's this one? And they're like, oh, that's deer.
That's a bigger squirrel.
And where the people visiting lost it, they were like, what is this one? And honestly, I've never heard of this except for this one time. They were like, what is this one? Because they also had a little bit of snake. They had some snake, which is wild. I don't know if they actually like hunted the snake or whatever, because the deer and squirrel, you imagine that they hunted and froze for an occasion like this. But the other one, snake, I don't know. But the one that they said that I was like, hey, I'm kind of on their side, even though I didn't want to say it in front of him, was skunk.
Ooh.
So they had some skunk meat that they had barbecued up and everything.
That's self-seasoning meat right there.
And I was like, that was when he said it, where I was like, oh, you're like a little too country.
Yeah.
And when his dad proudly said skunk, one of them spit out their food, like spit out their food immediately. And then the others were just looking around, and you could see them all trying to not freak out, like trying to be cool, but they're all realizing that they're like eating the gamiest things. Like they were fully down to sit down and eat like chicken, like beef, brisket, all that stuff, which was there, by the way. So it's not as if these people fed them an entire feast of just skunks.
Right. Still, though, I love that this story had the preamble about bragging about barbecue and putting down their taste from it, and then was like, anyway, we made you squirrel and skunk.
Anyway, here's some squirrel, here's some skunk.
Yeah,
and the skunk, you could just see the family dynamic like breaking down, because he was like they were so rude, they were acting all uncomfortable, like they were gonna be sick, and it's like, you were eating the skunk just a second ago, you didn't even know it was skunk. And I was like, yeah,
you gotta warn somebody, though.
I was like, I was just trying to go along. I was like, it's crazy, man. That's wild that they didn't want the skunk, because if I had been there, I would have been like, gah, 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 gah. Like, I didn't even know what he wanted from me as he was telling me the story. Because even in the story, it's like, you're kind of in the wrong.
Yeah.
Like you didn't tell them a thing that I don't think anybody eats.
Yeah. Yeah, not really. I mean, like, unless the most country people.
I've seen people eat squirrel. That's not even my issue. I could see how some people would be opposed to eating it, because they might be like, hey, no one is regulating this one.
Yeah.
Like you could be eating straight rabies at the moment.
That is meat you found. Even if you hunted it, you found that meat.
Yeah. And that's also, that meat is also mostly bullet. Because there's no way, at least with a deer.
I'll take my bullet medium rare, please.
Yeah, you could shoot a deer and then eat all the deer.
There's a lot more deer, a lot of other deer that you did not shoot.
But when you shoot a squirrel and it explodes, I'm assuming there's nothing left to eat.
They use small caliber. It's but no, still you gotta.
I'll tell you right now. I don't even know how there was enough squirrel to go around. They must have shot 10,000 squirrels.
Yeah, they found a community of squirrels
and just laid bare in whatever squirrel cave they were in.
Yeah,
because there's no way that there was enough squirrel to really go around. Yeah, I remember him being like truly indignant, and I honestly didn't know what to say.
Yeah, because how do you? Because you can't disagree, because he's angry that people didn't love his surprise skunk. So he's not going to be open to a counterpoint. But but how do you get excited about it?
Maybe you just put a table setting with a black and white streak on it.
Yeah,
just so people know where the skunk is.
Yeah, I think generally most mysterious meats should be labeled. Go ahead and just put with the species, so I can mentally prepare.
Because I'm not even saying an absolute unequivocal no. I'm just saying, let me make that decision for myself.
Exactly. Let me decide. I'm not saying I won't try it, even. You know what I mean? But just let me know what I'm trying.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the fact that, I mean, I wasn't there, so I don't know exactly how they reacted. That was so offensive, but I imagine they reacted like if you told someone it was cat.
Yeah.
Because apparently one person spit it out immediately, and then the other people just were like, kind of getting like, "Ooh, is it hot in here?" And then they left like soon after.
Do I smell? Am I turning into a skunk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
It is
soon
interesting how
after
people-
they found out it was skunk, they left.
Which is interesting because it's like, I mean, it's an animal. It's no grosser than the animals we already eat. It is just funny how, like, if you're used to eating a certain type of animal, you're not immediately disgusted by it.
And it like, I don't know what kind of Romeo and Juliet rift it caused between his big sister and the person that she was supposed to marry. Because it's like, because that they're there to like
the
meet
marriage
each
didn't
other.
happen.
That'd be so funny
It's from that meeting.
if they were. If they were like, no son of mine is gonna marry some skunk eater.
You're not marrying that filthy skunk eater. I'm just a Kennedy now.
Yeah, I was like, isn't that just JFK?
Yeah, well, they were from there. They were from Massachusetts.
Oh, okay, no, I'm just saying that was a very specific one.
I will not allow my son to marry some filthy skunk eater.
It would be even funnier if one of them, especially for how he was describing them, of just very like hoity-toity, whatever. It would be very funny if one of them did kind of get some rabies, like that, like
Just a little bit.
just like if they went back to their yacht club and they were like, "I say, Jefferson, you're foaming at the mouth."
Back up, or I will fucking bite you. I bet too they weren't hoity-toity at all. I bet that's just his version of them in the story because the skunk put them off.
Yeah.
I bet they showed up and were just nice and were trying their best, and then they were like, "What's this skunk?" And he's like, "These fucking these uppity assholes thinking they're better than us." It's like, no, most people don't eat skunk. So.
Yeah. Oh, I guess you're too good for our snake.
I guess you're too good for the meat I found in the woods.
Look at the city slicker who thinks that he's too good to eat a sack of venom. Because some people don't know what they're doing.
Exactly, yeah.
There are some people that are like, "Oh no, that little pebble, you can eat that. That's just a little rock."
Little rock, good for you.
One
a
of
little bit
my
of rock every now and then.
favorite like snake things was and then this is one of those things where we went to, I think it's in Marksville, there's a guy called the Rock Man, and we went there every year in my elementary school as a field trip about like geology and stuff. And he's
Are you sure
so
your area just doesn't have people whose sole identities are just singular objects? The stick man, the rock man,
the stick man, the rock man.
skunk man.
There was a firework man. So
Firework, but yeah. See, I think now I'm wondering if this is just your area that everyone is just assigned their object.
yeah, everybody just has a job that they can't quit because I
Yep.
live in.
Here's your
A
blunt
bad
tool
place.
and your identity. Here you
Yeah.
go. You are stick man now.
So we would go to the Rock Man every year, and this dude had all types of rocks for like lots and lots of different prices. So he was making money because as kids, we'd be like, "Oh, I'll buy this $1 rock that looks very cool and is polished and purple and everything like that." And
Sure.
then he had the crystal people, like the really like out there hippie people would buy crystals from him and stuff. And then he would just have these beautiful, like, I don't even know what you would call them, but it's like when you cut a rock in half and there's like all these shards of amethyst and everything that's like
Aren't those geodes?
Yeah. So he would
Yeah.
sell the biggest geodes I've ever seen in my entire life.
Damn.
So I've been to a couple places, like even Sally and I were in Arizona and we went inside this rock shop that had some pretty big ones for like a good chunk of change, but still was like nothing compared to what this dude had. Because he had essentially dedicated his life to it, and he was like
He's the Rock Man.
Yeah, he was kind of like a self-taught geologist almost, because he would describe to us what the differences in the rocks were, but he wasn't, I don't think he held any degree or anything. He just had an
Right.
internet connection and the will to dig. Yeah.
Will to dig.
And so this dude told us, and then we saw it as well. And it was, this whole thing was way more terrifying than, I think they thought it would be cool, and it was just scary. We go on this field trip, and the guy lives on his property that he sells the rocks from. And he talks about how one day he was going to the bathroom and he felt something. And when he stood up and turned around, a rattlesnake was in his toilet. And so the rattlesnake in his toilet jumped out at him, and he managed to dodge it and then like promptly stomped it to death, right? But then,
And then he cooked it up for his friends from Boston.
then he made a toilet seat cover out of it. And it's in the bathroom right now. And it was one of those things where I really had to go to the bathroom. Like, even as he was telling this story, I was holding it.
Right.
And so then I was like, should I just piss myself? Because he didn't make it sound like another snake couldn't come through the toilet.
he wasn't clear that it was an isolated incident.
Yeah, he was just like, I killed the last one that did it. I'm like, hey, what? Don't tell me that and then be like, oh, and by the way, it's at the end of the hall to the left.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, if you go down the hall, that's the snake room. Sorry, bathroom. If you go in there, I forget because there's always so many snakes in there.
And then I see
I've heard of like snakes getting into toilets. I've never heard of a rattlesnake getting into a toilet. I didn't think that was a thing they liked, was being in water. Like that,
I mean,
but-
when you, there wasn't much water in the bowl. Like this dude is living on the slightly off the grid. Like he's on the grid enough for us to find him, but he's not really there. Because when you go to his property, you're like, rattlesnakes would love this.
I love that this started as like, this is gonna be a 4th of July episode, but really, this has just been a very telling episode about where you're from. This has been a really.
Hey,
This isn't about America, everybody. It's about Louisiana.
look, this is about celebrating heritage.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, the stick man is my new 4th of July mascot. You know, the 4th kind of needs one. We don't have a good. It's just a guy grabbing stuff with a stick.
The stick man's here forever. As long as
Stick
there
man.
are oversized department stores that are overstocked, there will be a stick man.
As long as there are shelves, there will be stick men.
God.
By the way, it is like just after 1 p.m. on July 6th, and I just heard some fireworks going off.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, that we're
There's
recording.
nothing like the late
They're popping
ones.
off right now. Yeah.
There's nothing like the really, really late ones where it's like July 8th, but you still got some leftovers.
When I'm going to get my money's worth. Okay, I'm not taking a bath on these fireworks. All right.
Taking a bath? Is that what you say?
I've heard that phrase before.
Taking a bath on
If you're
fireworks.
getting, yeah, especially if you're like getting screwed on something. But I ain't going to lose money on this.
Oh,
right.
man.
I remember I think we talked about it before, but like our old neighborhood in Chicago that we lived in Rogers Park, like that was a straight month of fireworks.
Yeah.
It would start 2 weeks before the 4th and it would go 2 weeks after. And like clockwork too. It was a full month of just explosions.
Now, because I guess I've never told you all of these things are happening in tandem right now. I've never told you about the firework man.
No.
Okay, so this dude owns.
Yeah, I'm getting introduced to the Louisiana Avengers here.
Yeah. Stickman,
Stickman,
Firework
Rockman,
and Rockman.
Firework.
I'm sure there's a couple I'm sure there's a couple others that I'm just forgetting. Oh, yeah. There's one of them that I've never told you about because it's just too. Yeah. Okay. So the firework man.
Well, that was fucking ominous.
Yeah. It's like I don't even think you'll enjoy the story. There, the firework man owns like an entire. What would you even call it? It's not like. It's basically kind of like the what do you call the thing that the 18 wheeler is dragged? So you know how there's like the bed of a truck is behind the.
Yeah.
Okay. When you have an 18 wheeler,
Sure.
what's the front of it called?
The cab?
Okay, so what's the cab pulling?
The trailer?
Okay, the trailer, I guess. The way I'm trying to describe exactly how it looked, because the people, especially that I went to elementary school with, will probably
The big box with wheels.
The big box with wheels also works, I guess. But basically, the way that this works is he had converted like 3 18-wheeler type trailers together, all to like sell all the fireworks that he had, and then they would flap up. Like he had truly converted them, like he had cut holes in them so that there'd be an awning when he opened it up and everything. And it was, I think, just outside the city limits so that you could buy from him.
This is like a traveling mini mall he's invented.
Yeah, but he leaves it there. That's the crazy thing, though. He leaves it there all year, and he only sells 1 month out of the year. So I don't know if he actually leaves the fireworks in there all year, but you know that whole thing and that whole plot of land that he seems to own is
like
all
a Halloween
for 1
superstore.
month. Yeah,
Just sits there for the rest of the year unused.
yeah. And so, who was it? I remember like a few people that I grew up with bought from him, and I'll never forget. I never got to like meet this dude or anything, because also you never know. It's like sometimes you just have to be like careful around certain people, because like I'm not putting this on him, but like I'm pretty sure that he sold some fireworks where I was a little like, oh, are you like a bad person? Like, I don't know.
Are you like the Unabomber?
Yeah. Because he'd sell some that like you're like, I've never seen any. Like he'd have the sparklers and he had the Roman candles, all the stuff you're supposed to get.
Right.
But then I remember one time this kid was talking about going there with his dad and then trying to buy this big one from him, because basically his dad wanted to save money. So rather than getting a bunch of the little ones that they have to keep popping like all day to nothing, because especially I think that's just like a dad thing, like not just the saving money, but we're not going to pop these off when it's still light out.
Well, I want to get the full
want to get the full
experience.
Effect.
Yeah.
And so he was selling these things with like long, insane names, like the rocket triple launcher and all this stuff like that was set up to keep popping inside of it. So think of like a Roman candle that's like stocked into the ground, and it's gonna have all the designs and stuff. So he's selling like these almost like the Chinese ones with like dragon designs and stuff like that they're supposed to do. And then there was this one where it was just like a box that didn't have any. It had like a label in Sharpie, and he's like, "What's this one?" And the guy's like, "Oh, I made that one myself." And they were like, "Oh, okay, that sounds rough."
Yeah.
Doesn't sound great. Sounds like you don't even know if this will work.
Yeah.
I want a firework that'll explode in the air, not 2 feet off the ground.
No, if you throw it.
Yeah.
It'll get in the air. It just needs a little help, all right?
And then there was one.
You want to be like on a roof or something? Then yeah, this is the one for you.
I feel like he was probably just trying to upsell, but this kid said, it's like an urban legend about him, I guess. This kid said that he grabbed, what was it?
Oh, boy, but you need to finish this sentence, though.
He grabbed like square type firework from him that was like a
Okay.
one shooter. And he was like, how
Oh, the
much is
kid
this one?
grabbed. For a second, you're like an urban legend about him. He grabbed, and I'm like,
Oh, sorry.
yeah, that's why I was kind of like, you gotta say the end of this sentence.
Oh, my bad. No.
Because the fireworks man sounds like someone who would have rumors about him.
And so he grabbed this like square little packet that was a one shot, like you just light it goes off. And
Okay.
and then the kid was like, how much is this one? And the dude was like, oh, that'll take your finger off. And just took it back from him. And I guess he wanted him. I guess he wanted to be like, no, let me have it. And then he could like upsell it.
Right.
But once he said take your finger off, the kid was like, fair enough. We've purchased
That's
a lot.
fair. We have a other assortment of child endangerment that we've already purchased. You can keep that one.
Yeah.
Oh boy, the fireworks man, huh?
Fireworks man. I mean, who knows? That dude was probably just Greg to most people, and kids called him the fireworks man. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if that thing spread the way that I'm putting it out there as if it did. I know I call him the fireworks man,
Right.
but my friends and I don't account for the rest of the whole town. I'm sure that for some of these people, they are just known by their name and that's it. Like
Probably,
the
yeah.
stick man
probably-
is probably just Charlie.
That's Charlie. Everyone knows. Hey, get Charlie. He'll get it down.
Yeah.
And someone's like, go get the stick man. They'll be like, he has a name,
Now, to be fair,
and it's Charles.
the entire class and school that would come called him the Rock Man. That dude was the Rock Man.
See, I think that's different though when you do a thing like where you work with kids. Then you,
Yeah,
you want to be the something man.
He had plenty of opportunities to tell us his name.
Yeah. We used to have this guy who he like worked for. I think he worked for like the DNR or whatever around. He was kind of a not like a nature expert, but he'd come around and always do it. And his name was Dan, and we all just started calling him Dan the Nature Man. And I think just that still is just within like all the kids still, because I subbed there and he was around, and I heard some of them refer to him as Dan the Nature Man. I'm like, I think we started that, and that just stayed as school parlance. Like that, all the kids now just know him as that. I don't think anyone else calls him that. I think it's just stayed in the middle school ever since I was there.
I like how I like to think he likes it enough that his name is just Bobby, but he just goes with it. It's like, yeah, I'm Dan.
Well, his name is Dan. His name is actually Dan. So it's
How do we know?
yeah.
If he lets
I wanna-
nicknames take off, how do we know he doesn't let the wrong name take off?
That's true. He just snaps one day. He's like, "It's Robert." I know that doesn't rhyme with Nature Man, but my name is Robert. Hey man, should we open up the mailbag?
Yeah, let's do it.
Especially since we didn't do it last time.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Let's do some of these ones I meant to do last time. These are some about our 100th episode, but my camera died. This one here, this is from Lizzie, and the title is To President Squeaks. And it says, Hiya. If you don't feel comfy reading this on the pod, it's fine. But after a long while of listening, I felt the need to voice my thanks and also so very cheekily ask maybe a favor. I started listening in October 2020, I believe, and shortly after got acute pancreatitis. I'm sorry, Logan, but having Mr. Squeaks in A&E. What is A&E? That must be something hospital.
I don't know.
But Mr. Squeaks in A&E was wonderful company as a painfully chronic extrovert in hospital quarantine. You're welcome, I think. I'm not sure how to... Honestly, though, I have had a rough few years, and you two have got me through it, but this email isn't about me. My sister Alice, who loves the pod, is 6 months sober tomorrow. This would have been from last week. And no matter when or how you read this, if you could wish her a happy 6 months, it would make my year. So incredibly grateful, Lizzie from London. Hey, Alice. Congratulations. You did it. Hang in there.
Hey,
Killing
Alice. Happy 6 months.
Happy 6 months. Good for you. Staying strong. Doing your thing. Kicking ass. And also thank you, Lizzie, for that email.
Yeah, thanks for letting us know. We're glad we could keep you company,
Yeah. Oh, so this is about, I think it was our 99th episode. So this is from, just says NWE, and longtime listener, curious about Open Mouth Puppet Master. That sounds like a personal ad in like the classified.
Yeah. Seeking open mouth.
Open Mouth Puppet Master.
Wow.
Dear Josh and Logan, I'm emailing you in regards to episode 99, Say Something Dummy. Did the friend that went on the date with the puppet master ever tell them that the restaurant was making fun of them by prolonging his act? I kind of feel bad for the guy. If I was on the date, even if he was bad at the act, I would have told him that and told the restaurant off for choosing to humiliate him that way.
Two things. To my knowledge, no. And then
Right.
second, this doesn't seem like someone you can humiliate. Like, from what she told
Yeah.
me, it seems like even if you had been like, stop, they're making fun of you, he'd be like, still getting some practice in.
He's still talking through the puppet. Here's the thing, too. I kind of feel bad for him, too, but that is immediately offset by the fact that he brought his ventriloquist dummy to a date. So
Yeah.
I no longer, it's hard to feel bad for a terrorist.
Yeah.
It's hard because also he planted it somewhere. And that's the part that hangs me up the most.
Yeah.
Is that he had it at the ready somewhere. If it wasn't outside in his car, any other option aside from that is fucking wild.
Yeah, it's actually wilder if it's at coat check.
Yeah.
And someone had to
Yes.
give him his dummy back. And he's not leaving.
Yeah. And then he's got to get the puppet has to get its card to get its coat. Let's read this one since we literally just saw this person, but this is 100 episodes. Hi, J-Lo Goss. This is from our friend Allie. Hey, Josh and Logan. I can't believe you're almost at 100 episodes. I mean, we've already done it. They sent this right before. Congratulations on the success of this podcast as well as your individual successes. You're both killing it, and I'm proud of you, even though I don't know you like that. Hey, I'll still take it.
Yeah, yeah. I
It
love
still
a good
means a
proud
lot.
of you. I'm never going to
proud
deny
of you.
it.
From anybody. Anyone can say they're proud of me, and I'll be like, nah, thanks. Doesn't matter. That's good. One of my favorite episodes was Getting Zen with Joshy when you talked about meditating. I'm heavily invested in learning about emotional regulation, and a lot of things Josh said resonated with me. Plus okay, I almost read this wrong. Plus, Eastern philosophy fucks. That's how. I also appreciate how in discussing meditation, it slowly became a critique of capitalism. Nothing but solid truths. I didn't remember that it's the same episode with the story of the weed head grandma, which made me love it even more. As a frequently zoinked individual, I fully support this woman and hope she one day gets to Gnome the Mailman. That sentence was full of so many in references to our show.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
Yeah.
For future episodes, I'd love to hear more esoteric, anti-capitalist, bad review, stonery, goth, and or emo stories. Logan's puns are a must, especially because Josh hates them. Speaking of goths, I made some drawings for y'all to add to your collection of broody fan art. I drew Josh as a traditional/vampire goth because I get that vibe from him, and since he's a self-proclaimed vampire hunter, originally he had eyebrows, but I removed them because that look goes hard. For Logan, I gave him a punk goth look to match his bold disposition with spikes of his leather jacket to ward off any small talkers. He listens to Nick Cave and the Bad Squeaks, obviously. I also gave him an almost mohawky hairstyle that is closer to emo than goth because he thinks MCR is goth when they are, in fact, emo, though this is widely up for debate. Listen, I'm not trying to start anything. I just feel like they're in the neighborhood. Hope you guys like it. I'm excited to see y'all in Arlington again next week. Much love, your friendly neighborhood townie, Allie. Thank you for that. And she sent us this amazing fan art. They were the ones I already showed you. Do you want me to bring them back up, or I'll put them in the video?
Yeah, put him in the video.
They'll definitely be in the video version of this. I think I'm going to try to. Someone suggested too that maybe I need to make a database of all of the goth drawings we've been sent to put somewhere. So
Yeah.
that might be something I might be collecting them all again to to put them in some sort of online gallery.
Yeah,
people to
no,
view.
for sure.
Because we have a lot going. These ones, though, are fantastic. So thank you for those, Allie. And it was great seeing you in Arlington and everyone else we got to see in Arlington.
Yeah, thank you everybody that came out to Arlington. We had a great time, and it was great to meet you.
Very fun time.
Thanks so much for listening to the Josh Johnson Show. We had a great time recording. I hope you had a great time listening. If you are looking to catch up with us on any of the socials, you can find me at Josh Johnson Comedy on Instagram, at Josh Johnson on Twitter, Josh J Comedy on Facebook, and Josh Johnson Comedy on TikTok and YouTube, where we're going to be posting clips of the show. You might be watching one right now. And if you're looking for Logan,
You can follow me on Instagram at Logan M. Nielsen. And if you want to get into the mailbag like those wonderful people there, you can email us joshjohnsonshow@gmail.com. And if you want some bonus content, you can join our Patreon, patreon.com/Josh Johnson Show. Oh, and we got a live show coming up at the end of July in New York. A live podcast. So if you're in the area, come see us.
doing it, living
Living forever.
together.
Forever and ever, two parts. The song I sing every time I see Josh.
And I hate it. I don't like it.
He
Does
doesn't
it
like
anyway.
it. He doesn't like it, but
Doesn't care. I tell him
Nope.
to stop, and he won't.
not getting rid of me. Not getting rid of me, you little scamp.
All right.
I'm like a growth.
Oh, God.
Yeah?
Okay, so I'll stop recording now.
You know him. You came here to see him. Y'all go crazy. Josh Johnson is here, everybody.
My friends, my friends had a baby, right? And a lot of my friends are having babies either this year or some of them already had them last year. Basically, since the pandemic, I guess my friends have had a lot of time together. And okay. Basically, I met one of my friend's babies, and I could tell that I was the baby's first black person. I could tell. It was just so apparent. It was like, as soon as we looked at each other, he went through all of the emotions at one time. Because when they rolled him over and he looked at me, he was like, oh. And it was an odd feeling. I didn't even bring it up. I could just tell. You know what I mean? I could feel. And look, I'm not even saying it's the baby's fault. The baby got a white family. Hadn't got around to exploring the world yet, I was the baby's first black person, and it made me think about, I don't know if I fully remember the real first time, but I kind of remember what I at least think was me meeting my first white person. It's very important that the day before this happened, I was at a family picnic, right? I was at this family picnic and extended family had come. So I'm seeing cousins I don't normally see, and all of the older people are there and everything. And so some of the kids are playing, some of them running around, right? There was one kid that was running around, knocking a bunch of stuff over, one of my older cousins, right? And he had to be maybe 8 or 9 or something, but he's running around, and his parents were telling him, hey, slow down or stop or be still real quick. We're about to eat, all that stuff. And then he's still running around, knocking drinks over every once in a while. And finally, my great aunt, his grandma, as he was passing, she did that grandma move where she just snatched him real quick, right? Even his parents couldn't catch up. His parents were running come on now. She was pow, it was Incredible. She snatched the little arm and stopped him right there. And then she looked at him and he looked at her. And then she said through her teeth, so you know she meant it, right? She was like, if you don't be still, I'm going to slap the black off you. So the next day, when I met this kid, all I could think was, it can happen. Ooh, I gotta be extra nice to him. Something clearly going on at home. I was watching documentary about like serial killers and like sociopaths and stuff, and how basically they do these profiles where they try to identify whatever these like specific things are with their personality that make them the way they are, right? A lot of the traits and a lot of the signs. And one of the things they were saying in the documentary is that one of the best things you can do for anyone that's suffering from these sort of things is to find it as early as possible. That way you can help them before they do harm, you know? But then they also said that it's difficult to identify some of these traits when people are kids, because a lot of the list of what like psychopaths and sociopaths do as kids is a list of things that kids already do. Not the full list, but like a considerable amount of it, you know? And one of the things in the list is long-term bedwetting, right? Like bedwetting at like 13, 14, whatever, right? And it triggered a memory for me. Because when I was little, I had to be like 12 or something. I got invited to a sleepover, which was a big deal for me. I'm an only child, you know. Getting invited to a sleepover as a kid is like going out to the club as an adult. You know what I mean? It's the same energy. It's like me and my boys ride tonight. And so we got over there and we're having a great time. We're watching movies, we're playing games, we're like in the yard playing football and stuff. But it wasn't until it was time to go to bed that I realized that there was a hierarchy here. Because the kid who invited us, that was hosting us, only had so much room in his room. So his closest friends stayed in his room with him. And the rest of us stayed in the living room, right? And his parents made these little bulgy, like blankets and stacks of quilts and stuff for us to sleep on and everything. And I know it shouldn't have been a big deal to me because we had been playing all day. But if you've ever been to a sleepover, you know that when you're supposed to be asleep is when the good stuff happens. That's when the real conversation is had. And that's when all the memories get made. And I'm out here in the living room with the losers. So I get ready to go to bed, right? And I was laying with this other kid because it was 2 to each for everything. And it's not really important to the story, but the kid's name was DeMarvin, right? And so we fall asleep and I wake up middle of the night. Don't even know why I woke up, you know? And I notice when I wake up that just like the side of my leg and the side of my elbow are wet. And so I look over and DeMarvin not there, but his whole spot is wet. And I sat up, and as I sat up, I looked up and DeMarvin was sitting across from me watching me sleep. That's strike one, all right? Any child who watches you sleep, that should be on the list right there. And not only is he watching me sleep, he got his legs crossed. That's strike two. How you gonna sit there and cross your legs and watch somebody sleep like a villain? He's watching me sleep, has his legs crossed, and when I sit up, you ever so scared you assume you're not awake? It was was so freaky to just see him there already staring at me. I was like, I'm tripping. I need to go back to bed. This kid looks at me, legs crossed, and goes, Joshua? That's strike 3. Full name? Full name. We're both kids. Full name? You're the devil. This kid looks at me and goes, Joshua, I've wet the bed. But I'm gonna tell everyone it was you. I'm not gonna lie, I was like, what? How does that even make sense? Like, I'm the side of my leg is wet. Your whole spot was wet. People saw you sleep here. What are you talking about? You gonna tell everybody that I wet the bed? And then he goes from this like crazy intense stare to his face softening, and he's like, do you ever change your clothes? And as soon as he says it, I get it. As soon as that kid says that, I fully understand. Because that's gotta be terrifying. You know, you're at a sleepover, maybe you don't get invited to many, and you wet the bed? You're around a bunch of 12-year-old boys and you wet the bed. You'll never live it down. Wetting the bed at a sleepover at 12 is like wetting the bed when you go out clubbing with your boys. It's like, you killing the whole vibe right now. I knew we shouldn't have invited Jerry. He wetting the bed. Can't handle his liquor at all. So as soon as he said it, I got it. I really did. I understood. I was like, dang, that's tough, right? I don't know what I would do. I wet the bed. I'm trying to make friends with other kids. I'm a living room kid as well, so I'm already a loser. And then I wet the bed. I wouldn't live it down. And so I looked at him. I was like, man, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I only have the clothes that I have. I don't have any extra clothes. And then he goes, oh, okay. And I don't know where he got it from, but as soon as he said okay, he grabbed a cup of water and he threw it on me, right? And as soon as he threw the water on my crotch, I was like, ow, what's wrong with you? And the first kid woke up and DeMarvin was like, Josh wet the bed. And this is my thing. It would have been so much simpler to wake up in the middle of the night, realize that you wet the bed, go to the kitchen, which I'm assuming he went to, grab a mug, which I'm assuming he did, fill it with water, which he must have had, and then just poured it on me while I was sleeping. That would have been so much easier. I wouldn't have known. I would have woken up and been like, damn, y'all, I'm sorry. I thought I was done with this. I'm killing the vibe right now. It's so much more insane to wake up, realize you wet the bed, sit across from me, wait for me to wake up, staring at me the whole time, crossing your legs, saying my full name, telling me your plan, and then throwing water on me. I don't know where DeMarvin is now. I'm assuming that he's alive and well. But I do know for a fact that someone, somewhere, is dead. My other friends had kids in like 2022, 2023 and stuff. So then their kids are like at that age where they're like over a year old. They're basically at that age where you keep still saying like months. You know what I'm talking about? Like, nobody can just say, like, 1.2. I don't know, it's just as accurate, you know what I mean? Don't make me do the math. Because anything past 12, I know 12 months is a year, right? I know 18 months, year and a half. Once you hit me with a 27 months, I'm like... And so their baby is 16 months. 1.6. And they have a beautiful little boy, right? But it's funny, I didn't even think about this until I was hanging out at their house, you know. When it comes to our nature as people, right? We have the id, we have the ego, we have the superego, right? The id is like your lowest form. It's the impulsive part of your brain that is repulsed by pain. It's excited by pleasure, seeks it at all costs, right? The superego is your judgment. It's sort of your higher self in a way. It's how you weigh and balance some of your actions. A lot of religions attribute it to like the God in us trying to tell us what's right and wrong morally. And the ego is what mediates between the id and the superego. So then you'll have an id moment. Superego will judge it. Ego will process it, right? Id is like, I would very much like to sleep with this person. Superego is like, don't do that. That's your friend's wife. And then ego is like, but she's so hot. Didn't say this was all going to be a good person, right? But it's interesting being around babies because babies are all like cave person. They're all id. They're not weighing anything yet. It's just, I would like to do that. I'd like to not do that. They're not thinking about the bigger picture, right? There was one point where my friend sat her baby down in his little seat, right? And she laid her coffee on the counter, right? And then she had to go grab something else. And as soon as she laid the coffee down on the counter, the baby looked at the coffee. And you could tell, and I don't know why I do this, but I always give babies in my head, I always give them deep voices when they're thinking, right? Because I saw the baby look at the cup and was like, the coffee is in the cup. But what if it wasn't? And so then this baby went to knock the cup over, right? Knock the cup over and just go ahead and watch the whole spill. And I don't know how, but babies are fast and slow at the same time, right? Because so she sat the baby down, walked away. The baby looked at the cup and looked at me. I looked at the cup and looked at the baby. And I swear, as soon as I started moving to stop the baby was like, oh! As soon as we locked eyes, it became an emergency. I gotta get this cup over. I have full legs. I was running at this baby. I was running at the baby to stop him from knocking off the coffee so hard that I was scared I wouldn't stop. I was scared I was gonna take out the coffee and the baby, right? But I'm trying to make my way across the room and the baby just, oh! And right as he slapped the cup of coffee over, I got to him and I pulled him up and away from the coffee, and he was just looking at me. Like looking me in my eyes, you know? And he didn't say anything, but you could tell he was thinking, I win. I don't know if y'all saw what's happening in LA. But the Archdiocese in LA just settled for $750 million with the lawsuits of everyone who had claimed abuse while they were patrons of the church. $750 million. I think 800 million when you count in some other stuff. That brings the Catholic Church's total payout to 1.5 billion. Anyone else would be closed. That's so much money. $1.5 billion that you had. You had $1 billion to pay out with. That's crazy, you know? There's no other company I could really think of that could do that much harm and be able to afford the payout. You know? You'd have to be like a gun manufacturer or something. It's so jarring, you know? I think that's what really bothers me about it. It's like there's the payout. And anytime someone has to pay, even if it hurts a little to pay, if they had the money, it feels like less justice because they had it. You know, you gotta make them pay a number that they genuinely don't know. I don't know if we can do. Good, that's exactly how much I want. You know, $1.5 billion worth of damage that you also admit you did. You know, this isn't like hush money. This is a settlement where everybody knows what happened and everybody knows how you handled it. You know, that's so jarring. And it makes you, how can that not affect your faith? You know what I mean? You went to this place. This is supposed to be the safest place in the world. This is supposed to be the place where you like lay down every burden, not pick up extra. Do you know what I mean? I don't even know where you go from here. It's beyond PR. You can't be like, but we also donate a lot to. I don't know if I want you around anybody right now. That's my thing. I don't even just care about the money. I'm glad that they had to pay, and I'm glad that, you know, survivors are getting something for all those years of trauma, all those years of therapy, all those years of like trying to navigate the world and people looking at you like it must be you. If you're dealing with something all day, it does not escape your mind and you can't even hold down a job because the way that people are around you affects everything that you do. I'm glad that they have something in return from that, you know, because you can't undo what's been done, right? But like who's in jail? Is anybody in jail? We always forget that jail would be better. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure that that's what they want, but it takes so long to get justice. Half of the monsters are like dead. And then the other half are like still alive, but then there's like statute of limitations, which I don't know. I don't fully understand statute of limitations because I understand that it's constitutional to have a fair and speedy trial, right? But we don't seem to do that either. You know what I mean? Like if Young Thug's trial can last 75 years, why can't you be like, you too? Get over here. I know it was a long time ago. Doesn't change the fact that you did it. You know? That's what's so painful about it too, you know, because then it affects you whether you know it or not, whether you're, you know, like Christian, Catholic, whatever. You try to tell somebody about Jesus and they're like, oh, I've heard. Do you know what I mean? It's a burden that we all carry. It's a weight that like is inescapable, and it happened to. In a way, it happened to all of us. Obviously not in direct enough of a way that I'm like claiming some victimhood or anything, but it also, you yourself might trust this person that you find out is a monster, which then makes you question everything this person said to you. Maybe they didn't do anything to you, but they did something so horrific to someone else that you're like, how can that person that did those things be right about what happens when you die? Like, I know the two seem like they don't have anything to do with each other, but they are so directly related because this person is basically telling you the keys to a good life, the keys to being a good person, and the keys to salvation. And then you realize that they were dangling those keys over someone else to keep their silence, right? That's too heavy, you know? I don't even know where you would go from here, because nothing that is said by anyone in the church seems to fill the void that the church has created, both between people and themselves and between the people who had harm done to them and the way to redemption. It's just so far, you know? And the people writing now, the people who write for the church, the people who are the spokespeople, the people that we see, they don't have it like that, really. Like they're like, when they say their words, it doesn't hit like the Bible hit. There's no thous that can bridge the gap that's been created, right? There's no ye's that make me feel better. You know? Because I don't know. What is the truth taught by a liar? Do you know what I mean? Even if you really believe, you believe it from the bottom of your heart, this guy, this Weinstein is going to be the guy who spreads the word? That seems short-sighted. And then how they handled it too, because they handled it like the mob would handle it. You know? They didn't look at those people, those patrons, those souls that they have a responsibility to, that they took up the responsibility to. No, I personally don't know anyone who was made to go to seminary. Everybody there is a volunteer, you know? And so you'd find out. Sometimes it was the priests themselves telling their superior, I got a problem, right? And the superior was like, we'll get you out of town. That was the move for a long time. It's why so much damage was done, you know? If your toilet is broken, you get it out the house. You don't move it to another family's house to ruin their life. Do you see what I mean? You know what I mean? And it's just, I don't know. I know I kind of like land on this thing a lot. And so I'm doing the point a disservice, you know? Because a part of me hopes against hope that I don't care how it happens. I want everything that those priests were teaching to be real, right? I want it to be the truth. So that way we all know in our hearts that there's a hell. And I know that's like way more fire and brimstone. That's not like the uplifting message or anything, but I don't know. I just feel like it would be nice. It'd be nice to, you know, finally get justice. 20 years too late, the person's passed away, and then you're like, nah, God got him.
Mira,